going on, guys? It's Cal here from Sabers. So this is just a brief overview of the Apprentice OWK kits that are coming out on Friday the 15th of November. So that's when they're going to be released, Friday the 15th. So I thought I'd post this video just under a week before, so you guys have a general understanding of the kit that you'll receive and sort of some bits and bobs that you might have some queries about. So like I said, November the 15th, these are being launched. They'll be for sale on the saberarmory.com. You can't pre-order them. There'll be a date and time that will be announced. I'll put the date and time on my Facebook page, and I'll likely put a listing on the store before they come out for which you can add your email to, and you'll get an email when they go live as well. So it'll be at some point on Friday, November 15th. So I'll show you an assembled kit first, just so you can see what it looks like, run through some things, and then I'll show you what you'll get as you receive it. So there's this lovely presentation box here, sort of like a Apple style box for the Apprentice kits. They've got this special cut foam, which is perfect to protect the kit itself. And then this is the Apprentice kit, so you can see that sliding around at the minute because of a feature that I'm going to show you in a sec. So the Saber does have a crystal reveal mechanism, which is just retained by the cover tech, so it will be like that, and then when you want to turn it around it will reveal the inside. So that's real nice, simple. That's held on by the cover tech, so I'll go through that first. Now when you receive the Saber, there won't be a cover tech already attached. It will just be an M4 by 5mm grub screw. Reason being is just to keep the shroud in place. But the reason why we have the grub screw in there is because it just keeps it together during shipping. So you actually don't need that grub screw. But what you'll find is when you take this off, you'll see that there's just a little M3 grub screw there. And what that grub screw is, it's for dialing in the tension of the cover tech. So essentially what I'm trying to say is that there's no cover tech bolt that's the perfect length, or M4 bolt that's the perfect length to retain the shroud and the cover tech without the cover tech spinning. So what Francisco and I done, we done a dial screw, which is this screw here, which allows you to dial in the pressure to make sure that your cover tech doesn't spin and that the shroud doesn't spin. So you'll get that screw in the kit, and I'll just give a brief demo of how that works. So if I just unscrew this, or screw it in slightly. So I've screwed that a few turns just to screw in there, and then you want it just about flush with the actual ridge itself. And then when this goes back on, you can see it's a bit of a snug fit. So I've screwed it in too much, and I'll back it out slightly, about a quarter turn, just until this passes over. Yep. So that's passed over, now I line it up, and then I put my cover tech back on, which I'll just do now. So that presses on top of the screw, and you can see now the tension's in, so there's no rattle anymore of the shroud. The shroud doesn't spin, and the cover tech doesn't spin either. So that's been dialed in perfectly. So now you don't have any shroud rattle at all, and the cover tech keeps on there. And then obviously when you want to do the reveal, you back out the cover tech slightly, and you can turn it open. And when you're done, you tighten it back on, and it doesn't spin anymore. So that's just how the shroud works. These are the buttons, which you can hear now. So those are just grub screws, which you can see here. They're these grub screws that press on a piece in there, which is like a C shape, and that presses the button on the inside. So what you do is when you're assembling it and doing your installation, it comes with two switch PCBs which slide into the grooves on the black emitter piece. When you put those in place and secure them in place, you then tighten the grub screw until it presses on the button. Once it presses on the button, you've got your feedback, so you screw your actuator on until you get the feedback that you want, and then you can secure it with like Loctite, etc. So yeah, or if you're just having a static prop, you can just tighten it all the way in. So as a saber, it's very nice, very accurate. You've also got the blade plug which comes with it. The blade retention screws just here, which you can undo. Steel blade plug. Got this lovely polished steel blade plug. 1 inch emitter. Obviously it slides in there. There's a blade plug. These are your dummy LED bezels. Now there's a silicone inserts that come with the kit, so they press fit in here. You can still remove them easily, but they're nice and snug fit, and underneath is a Phillips screw which allows these to be removed. After you remove these 3 and you've removed these actuators, you can unscrew this as well, and that will reveal the underside. So this screws off. So you can unscrew that, remove the screws that are underneath these 3 dummy LED bezels, unscrew these, and this shroud slides off. And under that shroud is the C piece that I mentioned earlier, which holds the switches. There's a little C piece, and in that C piece in the middle is an M3 grub screw, which you can use to hold your heatsink, or you can use it to hold your NeoPixel hilt side holder. It's really nice and easy. Sorry, just trying to get this right. So that's an overview of the saber. Then you've got the pommel, which just unscrews like this. You can have access to your chassis. So this is 28mm, so you can put a 28mm speaker in here, which is obviously very handy for an OB saber if you want some clear sound. And you can unscrew this as well, which is the pommel cube, so you can actually adjust the alignment of the pommel cubes to be accurate. It's just 2 screws that are there. It screws back on. So that's how it looks in a static form, and that's what it would look like when it's completely assembled. So you'll have it so the purple insert isn't screwed on, the buttons aren't screwed on. Well, I'll show it to you now actually. So we'll close this off. So this is how you'll get the kit. It's obviously been quality controlled. Here, so I'll take this off. So this is how you'll receive the kit. It's like probably say 90% assembled. So this is how you'll get the kit. You can see already that the Phillips screws are there. You can see the C piece underneath there, which goes over there. That's threaded to press the screws. That's the grub screw that I told you about, which holds the shroud in place. It sounds rattly, but that's just because it hasn't been dialed in, or sort of hasn't been tightened too much. It's just to keep it aligned, help with shipping. So you don't actually need this screw when you're done, but sort of 90% assembled for you guys. And then you've got these foam cubes with your stuff in them. So in here you've got your silicone inserts. You've got domed ones and you've got flat ones, which are the frosted colour, and you've got the purple insert for the brass knob greebly. So that just gets push fit into the brass greebly, and then you can choose whether you want to have your dummy LEDs to have domes or whether you want them to be flat. Personally, I like flat, but you just cut them into shape and then you put them into these holes. Just press fit, that's it. Now when I first made these pieces, the factory made a mistake and didn't make them in silicone, and they made them out of hard plastic. So these are literally just in case you wanted to use hard plastic, because there's no point in me keeping them here, otherwise it's just a waste. So I thought I'll put them in each kit. You don't need the hard plastic ones. The kit isn't designed for the hard plastic, they're designed for silicone. But let's say you just want to make a static prop and you want to use hard plastic ones, you can. They might need a little bit of sanding, adjusting, because the whole point of silicone was that they push fit in. So you might need to adjust these. So these are just complementary. They're not meant to be part of the kit, but it's just complementary because there's no point in me keeping them here. They'd just be a waste. So think of this as just a part of a mistake, really. but you want the ones you want to use the ones that are in the pack with the purple insert, because they're the silicone, they're the right material. And then you've got your brass valve as well. Just zoom in a little bit. Got your brass valve. That is obviously threaded there to thread onto the grub screws, which are used for the switches. You've got your pocket there for the purple silicone insert. And then also in the box we've got, let's open this. So you've got the red actuator, and you've got your 2 grub screws. So these 2 grub screws are screwed into here, just in there. That's threaded. That's threaded. Those 2 grub screws are screwed in, so you can dial in your switch feedback, and then after you've dialed it in and secured them in place with whether it's Loctite or just a dab of glue so they don't move, you can screw the knobs on, and that will be the actuator for the switch. It's real simple. And then we've got another cube with some more parts in it. So you've got your switch. Let's just focus here. You've got your switch PCBs. So underneath the emitter, underneath here there's some channels. Channel here and a channel here, just on this black piece. And these are installed on there. Now what you want to do is you just want to sand these down, file these down on this edge, because it will still function as a PCB even if you file down a few mil, just until the gold part of the button actuator is centered there, because then you know you've got your switch perfectly in place. So obviously it's going to be facing down because you want your wires to run in. So it'll be like that in the channel underneath, and you want to put it in so that it's perfectly centered, and then when you screw your grub screw in, it will press that button and you can feel the feedback. So you want to do that for your switches. And again, like I said, you use the grub screw to dial in that tension, which I'll demonstrate again in a sec. And then also you've got your CoverTech, and you've got the CoverTech bolt and that dial screw that I mentioned to dial in the tension for the CoverTech, which is just an M3 screw. So I'll put this back in there. Put all these pieces in. So it's a nice little kit. You get a lot of goodies to make it accurate. I just wanted to make sure that I ran through what the features of the Saber are and how it actually assembles. But it's not difficult whatsoever. It'll be partially assembled anyway. But once again, it's just to reiterate, I have a feeling that a lot of the questions will be regarding how the switch mechanism works, but it really is so simple. So, for example, after you've put your brass screw in, so we'll take this out. So you can see, if you look very closely, you can see the button actuator for the switch PCB just there. You see the gold. I've sanded the PCB till it perfectly snug fits right in the center. Then you'll get that grub screw, which are in the bags, and you'll just screw it in like so. And then once you start to feel it get tight, so I'm happy with that feedback now. So I'll just do not too tight. I'm happy with that. And then I'll just put a bit of glue or Loctite on there. Not too much, you don't want to glue anything down. And then once it stops, so there it stops, you want to be very delicate, and then that's your switch. Same for the other side. So you take the other screw that's included. So I'm just repeating the process. So I can see there I lined up my switch nicely. You can see the gold actuator of the switch PCB, and I'll just tighten that just until it stops moving. So I want to loosen that just a little bit more. No, not tight enough now. Let's have a look here. Yeah, I once you've got that, and then you can screw this on top. Like I said, you get it right, so and you just dial in your feedback. So that gives you full control of your switches. You can see I put the flat silicone inserts in, feel really nice, and then when you want to access the Phillips screws, you can literally just pry them out like that, but they're real snug fit in there. Just use like a flat, some sort of flat surface just to make it nice and flush. And yeah guys, once again, the Coatec system, you've got the dial screw that's just underneath to make sure that it doesn't rattle or anything, and then when you just want to open the saber to reveal it, you literally just undo this screw and there you have it, the reveal, and tighten it back up when you're done. Now obviously once you dial these settings in, you just want to maybe use a dab of Loctite on the screws just so over time, you know, it doesn't vibrate or loosen or something like that. But these will be, I'm very proud of how these came out, both Francisco and I are, and we really hope you like these guys. So thanks again for watching. I'm going to be doing an install on one of these very soon. It'll be nice and easy. Cedric from Goth3 Designs is working on the chassis. There will be an eco chassis option and a standard shape waist chassis option, so we just need to allow some time for that. And the kits will be £155 excluding VAT. So if you're in Europe, you'll have to pay English VAT, which is at 20%. If you're not in Europe, then you don't pay any tax, so it would just be £155 for you guys in places like America, Australia, Japan, Canada, etc. But if you are from a European country, you'll be paying the 20% VAT. So that's the kit as it's assembled, and then you'll be receiving the kit with its lovely quality control sticker, just to confirm that we've checked everything, put all the accessories in there and such. And yeah, so there will be some Allen keys included in the kit as well, because I know that I've been using these Allen keys here just to show you how to do blade retention, cover tech, the grub screws, but I did order some tools for you guys so that you have some sort of tool to adjust the grub screws and the cover tech and stuff, just so you can assemble it when you receive it. So I hope you guys like these. They've come out gorgeous, they're lovely and accurate. Francisco and I worked really hard on making a nice presentation for these. So yeah, I'm going to make the video for the Qui-Gon now. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe. You can see all the Saber videos and information. And thanks again for watching as always, and I'll see you guys again soon.